So today, guys, I'm going to just review quickly with you what we talked about yesterday as how to build a data table. So we're going to start just by talking about here. Remember that when you set up a data table, you need to first of all identify your variables. So you need to know what your independent variable is and what your dependent variable is. Then we always put the label to the left of the independent variable. So the column to the left will be labeled with the independent variable, and the column to the right will be labeled with the dependent variable. And remember that later on we're going to divide these boxes up based on how many independent variables you're testing. So like for our Clover experiment, we have 3, so we'd need 3 boxes underneath the independent variable. For the, let's see, what experiment have we talked about? For the types of water that we talked about yesterday, you would need 4 boxes. Then we're going to divide the dependent variables depending on how many different things we're going to measure, and we'll get to that. Just some interesting information because of the problem we're going to set up. I did not know this, but most dairy cows are black and white, and the next most common are brown cows. I looked it up, and when I found this interesting piece of information, that 7% of Americans, when they were surveyed, think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Who knew? So 2 pieces of information. So our question that we're going to look at, it looks like I need to maybe shrink this a little bit so we can see that. There we go. So the question we're asking is, does the color of the cow affect the number of gallons of milk? So we're going to look at that. So we're going to look at our independent variable then is the color of the cow. And I did some research, so I collected some information, and the most common dairy cows are black and brown, so we're going to study those 2. And then our dependent variable is going to be the amount of milk. So remember that we need to, first of all, draw the box. So in order to draw the box, we go up here to Insert, and we select Shape, and we select the square, and then we draw a box right over that. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a box. Okay. Now I'm going to delete that box because I already have one. So I've already done that, so draw a box. The next step then is to label the left side of the box with the independent variable. So my independent variable is the color of the cow, so I put that there. The way I do that is I click on the text box and I put the text box in, and then once I've drawn that, I can type in my answer, color of cow, and it will appear. Okay. And again, delete that because I don't need it. Maybe I'm going to delete it. There we go. So the next step, step 3 then is to draw a line to divide the box. So to do that, I go right up here, select line, and then you just draw a line straight down. And then you've got your line. And again, I don't need an extra line, so I'm going to delete that, but that's how you do that. Okay, so we've covered drawing the box and inserting text. So the next step after I've drawn the line is I need to insert my dependent variable across the top of the larger box. I want to kind of center this, and again, I'm going to go up here and make a text box and draw that text box in there, and then type in the amount of milk in gallons. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I'm going to put parentheses around the gallons. And we can, because then we know that that is our measurement. And yes, like we talked about yesterday, we want to put our label of our units in the right there in the heading. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is then go down, and it says draw a line under the words for your dependent variable. So again, I went up here, selected a line, and I drew a line underneath there. Now I want to keep that line pretty close because remember from yesterday that I need to draw another line here so that I can divide out and put my number of trials or my number of cows or whatever it is that I need to put in there. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is then we're going to draw another line under the words for the dependent variable, or for the independent variable. So we're going to draw this line in right here so it can go all the way across, and we divide it so now we can put in our trials and things here. The next part, we have to decide how many sections we need in the independent variable. And here, since we have 2 different independent variables, brown cows and black and white cows, we're going to put those here. So we divided this box into 2 sections and drew the line right here. Then we're going to label that, so the brown cows and black and white cows. I could write cows there again, but I don't because here it says color of cow, so then I can put the fewest amount of words right there. Step 9 then is to divide these boxes, and my goodness, my lines are crooked there. I need to fix that. Sorry about that. There we go. Wow, that kind of hurts your eyes, doesn't it? And there. There you go. Oh, that one's even now the other way. Okay, so there we go. Now, when I look at this, this is going to allow me to put in trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and an average, or amount of, so that cow 1, cow 2, cow 3, and average. So we're going to look at the brown cows. And so what we're going to do is decide what we need. So what we're measuring is we're going to look at 3 different cows, right? And we're going to see how much milk they make in a certain amount of time. So you could put trial 1, trial 2, and trial 3, but I think our better answer is to put cow number 1, because we're going to have 3 brown cows, and we're going to take how much milk they make. And then I'm going to put the next one, and I'm going to say cow 3, and then my average. So now I've got my data table, and the last thing that I need to do here is that I need to label the sections. So I did that part, and I'm going to change this one again to cow because I had already made that, and I didn't mean to make a copy before I did that. So here we go, cow and cow. And then average. All right, so then the last part of that is I need to add a title to my graph. And so I told you yesterday, just take your question and move it right here. Does the color of cow affect the number of gallons of milk? So you're going to put that right there, and now I've got my data table drawn. All right, so what you're going to do today is you are going to now follow those steps to build your own data table for the question on the next slide. So if you click, that's really hard, click this link here, it's going to take you to the data, to the slideshow from yesterday that went through making the color of the data table about the color of light and how it affects root length. And that one you could have in the next tab and just go through it step by step. But what you're going to do is you're going to start from fresh, and you're going to draw a data table right here, all of the different using this information here. So your question is, does the temperature of water affect the number of days until a plant sprouts? Your independent variable is the type of water, and you have 4 different types of water. Then the dependent variable is the number of days until the plants sprout, and we are going to collect data on 3 different plants for 3 types of water. So again, you're doing this in the classroom or during class time. You can just send me a message and I can help you, or you can come back to the Google Meet and I can also help you that way. So let me know if you need any help. Good luck.